What's shaking, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Robert Palmer. And we're returning to Double Fun 1978, though every time I've gone back to this album, it reminds me that I think there's 2 or 3 more bonus tracks on the Power Station CD that I never reacted to, so I made a note to try to go back and do those, even though they're just other versions of songs I've already reacted to on the proper album. In any case, once again, big thank you to Kim for providing this album, and there's more Robert Palmer after we go through this record. In any case, the next tune on Double Fun is Night People. So my inclination is to think that this relates to people who engage in revelry and or exciting interactions at night, people who go to clubs, people who dance the night away, or who at the very least embody a different persona or engage in more social activities once working hours are over. Now, it could relate to folks like myself, nocturnal folks who spend more hours awake in the middle of the night than is common or than is regular for people who have, let's say, more standardized jobs. Though as temperatures get higher, it may become the case that one of the major changes is that diurnal schedules shift more toward nocturnal schedules as a simple way of avoiding the worst hours of heat. In any case, I'm curious to hear if the night people in question are in fact folks dancing at a club or mingling at some sort of party, or whether this is an entirely different type of night person. Let's give it a listen and find out. This is Robert Palmer. The tune is Night People, and it's from his 1978 album, Double Fun. say that song was funky and soulful would be a gross understatement, and I love his vocals. He pushed a number of the lines without sounding like he was, straining or like really belting, but he just gave a little fire to a number of the lines in terms of the emphasis that was achieved through a bit of vocal fire. I also enjoy the fun of the tune. It really does feel groovy and funky and fun. You can see people dancing on a dance floor. In fact, I had a thought about halfway through that for an album from the late 70s, and given that the Buck Rogers show that I did a watch along for the first season on my Patreon, and I'll eventually come back for the second season, but there's a lot of like tunes that they play at these futuristic space nightclubs, and a lot of them have this funky, groovy sort of sound, so I feel like you could take this song and put it in one of those episodes and it would fit perfectly. But yeah, it sounds like it was more or less what I was thinking, the idea of, at the end of the day, there's people who go out and they get their groove on once the day people have done their thing, and once the sun goes down, there's a whole other kind of life that is kept going, or adds to the human experience by the night people who are looking good and looking at each other and waiting for something to happen, and just sort of responding to their environment and to other people who are there for that type of experience. Now maybe it's saying it's the same people and it is like a change in persona that shifts, but a couple moments along the way I thought it was saying it's actually two groups of people, and if everyone went to bed at the same time, if everyone lived the same schedule, it'd be kind of a boring world, and it's only due to these night people that there's this dynamic, this energetic world that comes about once the sun goes down. So yeah, I don't know if I'm like which one of those thoughts is more in line with the actual lyrics, but I feel like either works. The idea that some people, they have to kind of do their 9 to 5 thing, but they can't wait till that's over and they can put on their fine clothes and go out and dance with other people and enjoy themselves, have this bit of catharsis that allows them maybe to have the energy or the willingness the next day to go back to that 9 to 5 world. I do also enjoy the like soulful brass throughout the tune. There's some backing vocals near the end that I noticed, and the bass line has that wicked dance floor funkiness to it. So just a doubly fun tune, and it feels like the enthusiasm and the fun, funky energy is a hallmark of this album. Again, most of it's still to go, but yeah, that does come across already. So once again, big shout out to Kim. Let me know what you think of this one, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.